Hello and welcome to Focus on Liberia, another edition of the Hour of Politics. Always with me, your host, Ansony Sieh, Focus on Liberia, broadcasting from our headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Our goals are always simplistic. We educate, we elevate, and we promote all things our dear country, Liberia. It is the hour of politics, of course. So you see some politics coming your way. And who would you rather have bringing it to you? An analytical one, though. You heard me, right? An analytical one is coming your way. I ask one favor anytime I show my ugly face, and you know it. That favor is to share. Whether you are on YouTube, whether you are on Facebook, whether you are on Twitter or LinkedIn and watching Liberia's most respected network, share in whatever chat room you may be a member. That's the only favor we ask. We will do all the hard work. We will do all the research, and we'll bring the information to you so that you can be in the know and be informed intellectually if you like. Welcome. Well, let me not waste your time. The topic for today, 100,000 donation and 300,000 budget for ULA, and the politics of it all. That is our topic. And folks, there is one key question of the many that I have. What is ULA up to here, folks? So, folks, this will be an analysis by me, Ansony Sieh, here on the Hour of Politics. Presidential Affairs Minister Nathaniel McGill continues his donation spree. This time, ULA gets the biggest laugh in its history. $100,000 donation and a $300,000 budgetary allotment. Unprecedented, right? Well, we have a lot of questions, and we want ULA to be able to man up and answer these questions. Who invited McGill in the first place? And for what? Was ULA intentional and calculated here? Did ULA know what it was up to and purposefully? Did ULA do anything wrong, folks? Should ULA take the money, or should ULA return the money? If at all there were no money given, would there be this outcry and condemnation from Liberians from all walks of life against ULA? My name is Ansony Sieh, and welcome to the Hour of Politics. Let us get to it.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Ja.
Baku Kenju, thank you. That is Dennis' name that you may not know. So, folks, let us get to the topic quickly. The 100,000 donation and 300,000 budget for ULA, the politics of it all. fellow citizens of Liberia and friends of Liberia, if any is watching, YULA is the Union of Liberian Association in the Americas. We know this institution to be the umbrella organization representing all Liberians in the Americas. YULA always have elections followed by inaugural program. This year, inaugural program having to be YULA 47 inaugural program. YULA saw the election of Sieh Kamara and Beneva Grant, I hope I got that right, as its leaders. And so the 47 inaugural is no way different from all other inaugurals that YULA have had. But there's something unusual we saw this time around, raising a lot of eyebrows and questions. Some of the questions that I've asked already, and I'm going to provide the answers. The analysis will going to be fair and balanced. Let us know who YULA invited, besides McGill, where the noise is, or with whom this noise is, more so because of this 100,000 donation. YULA invited a lot of people, meaningful Liberians from all political spectrum and walks of life. So why are we making all this noise about Nathaniel McGill? So why and why? It said because he said that a donation of 100,000 is coming, followed by a 300,000 in the next budget to come. Of course, that is part of the reason why. And so the bigger question we need to ask to get started here is, who is Nathaniel McGill and what is his track record? What is his public persona? Who is he? What does he do? What kind of political actor he is? Is he a smooth, decent, credible, respected political actor? Or his political activities are questionable? Is that the reason? Or is it mostly because of the money? I would say all of the above. So let us know who is Nathaniel McGill and what he has been up to, for which, when he showed up, like many others, there's noise, and not with others. You want to know the guy McGill? Minister of Presidential Affairs. I always refer to him as a de facto president. And I also want to say to you, he is the chief administrator of the Republic of Liberia. He runs the office of the president. He runs the office of the Ministry of Presidential Affairs. So, folks, he has a consequential position. He in a government that came on a mantra of change. And he is one of the leaders in that government. This is the government that came with a message of change for hope. And so we felt that they were bringing hope. We felt that they were bringing change because that is what they communicated to the Liberian people. Whether or not they did it effectively is another question that I will answer another day. Well, maybe let me answer that quickly. They did not. But fast forward here, folks. Nathaniel McGill, upon the election of YULA, followed by his subsequent appointment, got to business. Now, because we have an election that is next year, and any other government will want to maintain power, what will Nathaniel McGill be up to other than trying to maintain power and power at all costs? So I want to be as brief as possible today. McGill, prior to his position as Minister of Presidential Affairs, I understand, served at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and that he was, I believe, an assistant minister. When he was assistant minister, I don't know if McGill have even given a scholarship to anybody from his village. I don't know that. Maybe he did. McGill, even while he was assistant minister, from what we've been told, was living somewhere that resembles a place just about any poor person will live. What I'm saying is that McGill was this poor guy. He would beg for money for years. I'm not saying because he was begging yesterday, like many of us did in the past, so he cannot be somebody today. But McGill is occupying a public office. He's working for the Liberian people. He has a salary that is defined. But I'm not naive. McGill office also has discretionary budget, miscellaneous, money that they have to also give out to other people. So that may not be more of the question, but the main fact that McGill has started something of late in his effort to maintain power, to secure a second term for the CDC, using my political eyes, has been so calculative. He started running campaign way before time. And so McGill, in his effort to secure a second term for his boss and his party, the CDC, has been on this mission. He calculated and realized that Liberia is poor. And Liberians are appreciative whoever gives. And he will be a giver using state resources. Sad, right? So the McGill, who could not even afford his own gas at some point, the McGill who, like many of us, had to struggle. And even when he was appointed, took loan, according to him, from one of the local banks in Liberia to acquire himself a mansion. That McGill, whether he has paid that loan, I would think he might have, given the kind of money he's been spending. He's been on this spending spree. But who knows? These guys sometimes don't pay, right? We've seen it all. So McGill started this, I see, as the distribution of questionable money intended for the sole purpose of securing the CDC a second term. Folks, it all started in 2020 when McGill embarked on this mission. The mission that will bring him to prominence, for which I believe YULA saw that he was a perfect fit to become the launcher for its inaugural that was also intended to raise some money. So what has McGill been up to? Let me go to that quickly. Folks, first of all, September of 2020, Nathaniel McGill promised to give petty traders in YULA 2 million Liberian dollars. And in McGill's own words, it was just a little petty cash for the marketers in YULA. McGill. 2020, folks, were just 2 years into the CDC administration. That was a year after McGill has taken loan. The guy who had just taken loan now was dishing out millions, folks. Well, don't take my words for it. Let's hear from McGill himself. We have the audio tape here.
And tell people that the decision you made was never wrong. Yes. So you got to vote for your party. Yes. So this is CDC going for the election. Yes. This is not Thomas Para alone. But Thomas Para is the face that will be on the ballot representing the CDC. Yes. So we got to turn up. They would never turn up before. to make sure that we deliver the party. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm very grateful for the work you are doing. So, as my own contribution to the petty trader, I am pledging just a small contribution for you to run your office. I'm pledging $2 million Liberian.
So, folks, you saw it there. Nathaniel follow on McGill. He said, just to run your organization, it's just a small donation. You know, I'm pledging $2 million Liberian dollars. September of 2020, he started on this journey. By then, he did it for Thomas Fowler. Thomas Fowler, the political ATM number 2, was running. And the CDC mission was clear to have done everything in their powers to have Thomas Fowler elected. McGill, the chief administrator, went to work, went to Douala, and gave $2 million Liberian dollars and said that it was just a small little packaging for them to run their organization. Let's make progress, folks. I got a lot of information for you. Folks, September 13, 2021, Minister McGill will go to launch a $10 million scholarship for students in Lower Baum County. This McGill won't stop. In September 2021, he launched a $10 million scholarship program for students in Baum County. McGill again. After that September, November came by. Nathaniel McGill will launch again another scholarship program. This time he called this one government scholarship program. This one was not in his own name. And this time he did it in Nimba County. The amount, $50 million Liberian dollars. You think McGill is done here? McGill will not stop. McGill will go to Grand Bassa County in December of 2021. McGill will launch again another scholarship in Grand Bassa County to raise US $1 million. This brother is on a mission. The minister is on a mission. And guess what? When McGill was heading to Grand Bassa County, it was like, I don't know, can I say Jesus Christ entering Nazareth? Maybe that is not, because my comrade Jesus would not behave like Nathaniel McGill. So I take that back. But McGill had a triumphant welcome in Grand Bassa County. He became the king of dishing out money. And I'm clear on day that McGill has been doing all this to buy votes intelligently way before time so that the CDC cannot be seen as trying to buy vote during campaign time. They are putting their bid on top of the water. So yes, McGill triumphant entry into Grand Bassa County, where he raised $1 million US, folks. So, folks, let me leave it there. I think you heard the sound. That was when Nathaniel McGill was entering Grand Bassa County. When he went for that launcher, I wish he raised $1 million US. I don't know who were the contributors. I don't know who the contributors were. But according to Nathaniel McGill, He has friends in the diaspora. Really? McGill say he got people here in the diaspora that can give money. His own words, that he got friends in the diaspora, that he got friends in Liberia. Some are business people. He went further by saying, well, some even complaints in Liberia, the mental still made some commitment. Wow. McGill got people now that can give millions. Well, it is not impossible. He's in power. He can make a decision that will benefit anybody probably with business interest in Liberia, right? Maybe the person who want a contract, they can give McGill X amount of money. Folks, you see the logic here? The guy who could not afford his own gas at some point in his life, at some point started having friends. And the friends he got, folks, if they wanted to be friend of McGill, they who have become friend with McGill when they knew him or at the time he was not holding this consequential position. But when they got to know that McGill is in a place of power where he has influence that he can trade or exchange, now they are his friends. Now they have deep pockets to give to McGill. Isn't that questionable? Well, the politics of it all, right? A triumphant welcome, red bearer all over the place. Nathaniel McGill, the political ATM, has entered. And all of these funds and money that he's dishing all around, McGill has been doing it either in his own name. At some point, he will say he's doing it in the president's name. Is the president, and what's the name they call it? Some kind of thing for all, education for all. And at some point is the government of Liberia, a scholarship scheme. 3 different narrative or explanation on this one effort of dishing out millions to students in Liberia way ahead of the campaign. The question we must ask also is, before we can ask that question, let me share with you. Saint McGill started their donation spree, this campaign of buying votes way before the election. How much money total has McGill given out in exchange for votes? Before I can give you the total, within 1 month alone, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs has spent about 170 million as political gifts to 4 counties, just in 1 month alone. That's the period between September to November. If you put all that together, McGill spent, donated, gave out scholarships totaling 170 million Liberian dollars. Where is this Minister of State for Presidential Affairs getting all the money from? From the budget? And all this money being spent on education. So let us now ask the question. Is McGill the education minister here? Well, some people have smart answers, right? They are saying he does not have to be a minister of education to be spearheading anything that borders all that is in the area of education. So if he's not doing this for political reason, he being the major political actor in this CDC government, if this is not politics, if this is not intended to buy votes for political victory, why is the chief political actor for President Weah is doing it? If it is, as he explained, intended to help poor students stay in school, why can't the Minister of Education do it to remove the political phase. But Mange is calculative here. He will be in the campaign. The Minister of Education will not be running the campaign. So he must be seen so that when the campaign time comes, he will be remembered by this student and they will bless the CDC with their vote. I hope the president of YULA and his able lieutenant advisors have been paying attention. My understanding is that they care about Liberia. They care about Liberians. So it is no doubt to assume that they were paying attention to what is obvious has been a political calculation on the part of Nathaniel McGill. YULA, its members are educated and sophisticated. I am even unworthy to tie any of them shoestring. But they will fall in this donation spree trap of McGill. There are many questions that I asked earlier. Who invited him in the first place and for what? The president of YULA and his able lieutenants, they calculated and they invited Nathaniel Fallon McGill. I have just given to you Nathaniel McGill's history, the mission, and political activities, and his political game of trading money in the name of scholarship for votes comes 2023. Sieh is smarter. His lieutenants are smarter. Folks in YULA are educated. They know it. They saw this. They calculated. The 47th inaugural was also intended to raise money for YULA's activities. Smart folks in YULA who live in the wealthiest country on earth, the country that is endowed and infested with goodwill everywhere. Humanitarians, philanthropists, corporate institutions, government, federal, local, and states. You didn't see any other person anywhere else in the Liberian community, anywhere else in the US, anywhere else in corporate America, anywhere else in state government and local government. They saw one person and one person only. They saw a Nathaniel McGill, a political ATM who has been on a mission of just dishing out just about any amount. I hope Sieh is listening. And I hope his lieutenants are listening. And I hope folks in YULA are listening. But hey, YULA too have their own argument. They have their own explanation. I'm going to be fair. My analysis is always balanced, even though it bites. Look, folks. Let's ask the question. Was YULA intentional and calculated here? Oh, yes, YULA was calculated. YULA knew McGill was trading money for political favor. They knew that he was everywhere, finding where he can trade the money he has to his disposal to look good and for political glory. YULA knew that. YULA knew it would be easier to get money for a McGill who is desperately dishing out money. Oh, YULA knew. YULA saw it. I provided the records here. Videos and the facts and the mission and an agenda of McGill. They knew. They wanted fast money. YULA, out of a sudden, they know that it lives, or it is headquarters. It is headquartered. Let me speak good English here. It's headquartered in the US. That have billionaires and millionaires. But YULA chose to invite a questionable Liberian minister who dishes out any amount at will in return for political blessing. It's like YULA ran out of ideas. They took the shortcut. They took the easier route. Sieh Kamara made a decision along with his lieutenants that in order for us to get money, since we're doing a fundraiser also, McGill should be the launcher. With McGill, we assure the thousands will come. And he was so calculative and so smart along with his team, and they got the thousands. A 300 in the budget next year, and a donation of 100,000, and a due payment from McGill, a due payment from a tour who writes the check, and who's going to cut the check for Sieh and his YULA. I will be fairly forceful in my presentation. But here is YULA's argument. Let me dress back a little bit. Let me start beating on YULA. They are smart. They are intelligent. YULA argument is that, look, in the past, YULA has been more like this opposition organization, just attacking every government. It has not taken our country nowhere. There has to be a paradigm shift in its advocacy. There has to be a change of approach in this engagement. So Comrade Sieh Kamara and his able lieutenant said, look, this idea of YULA attacking, criticizing, condemning all other governments is not sustainable. It has not helped YULA. It has only hurt YULA. It has become or has been a stumbling block to YULA achieving some of his core advocative issues, in Liberia. It has stopped YULA from achieving some of his advocacy issues in Liberia to pull it right. My mentor is listening. I got to be on my A game here. YULA are so big people. So you want to go after them. You want to be on your A game, right? I do my best. I was made for this. So that is a succinct argument from Comrade Sieh and his team. What do we get? They argue. Attacking government, condemning them, not engaging them. What do we get? We get nothing. The issue of dual citizenship has been on the political docket for I don't know how long. From Ellen days to George Weah Day, it's been dead. They went to referendum, it failed. Restriction and all that. Sieh is making the argument. He and the team making the argument. This is how we've done business, treat government as opposition. And then they close their ears. So Sieh, in short, he and his team saying, look, we have to use a different approach here. We can't be doing the same thing over and over and expect different results using the Alice Cummings words here. Those words are not his, he borrowed them. So Sieh said, this is what we need to do. We're going to engage the government. And the best way we can engage the government is to find the one who has the president's ears. Who is that person other than McGill? That was their calculation. So they intentionally, purposefully invited Nathaniel McGill. Because in their calculation, when they get McGill in good books with them, they get the president. YULA's advocacy issues will be placed on the table. YULA will be in the room. YULA will be at the negotiation table they argue. And that only when ULA is on the negotiation table and not being seen as an opposition to its own government, then and only then they argue with the advocacy of issues of ULA will be achieved. I love their argument. Oh, Comrade Sieh and his team, very smart. They got some women in the room too, nursing this political argument. To that I say, after raising their argument, may I counter the argument? Sieh, really? Really? You do business with these guys. You don't care about who they are. You don't care about what they do. It is about getting what you want, no matter with whom you get it. We're talking about our country here. You are acting helpless. That means McGill being in some kind of good book and rapport with you, you are helpless and you cannot get anything. Maybe he's right, because that has been the case, right? Have we gotten the dual citizenship? Do we have a diaspora office? Do Liberian vote in the diaspora? Oh, I disagree. I do disagree. But that is the argument, and I haven't to disagree. So, ULA has an argument. Will ULA win this argument? Will ULA be able to achieve 8 key advocacy issues when they get Nathaniel McGill to be their body? When they get President Weah's ears, will they get what they want? Could they have even gotten McGill's ear without taking money? Is there more about money now, or is it more about advocacy? What is it? I think they are saying both. But let's be fair to ULA. ULA has not spoken, has not given any position statement for being in the budget. I mean, for being told that they will be placed in the budget, to correct that. They are not in the budget yet. They will be in the budget based on McGill's pronouncement. The executive drafts the budget. And that they will give $100,000. Has ULA questioned the source of this money? ULA, not ULA, but ULA. How best can this money be spent? Has ULA questioned that? Are there issues in Liberia as we speak for which this very government lacks money? I think so. So this is ULA Donor of the Year, Nathaniel McGill, the political ATM of Liberia, the guy who gives money for political votes, blessing, whatever way you call it. This is ULA's new friend. ULA now has the ears of President Weah. ULA, based on its argument, gonna get everything. Your argument, I quoted here, is your argument, and I know it to be the fact. And so we're gonna hold you to that argument, Comrade Sieh and ULA, that your key advocacy issues should be achieved because you have the ears of the de facto president of Liberia, your new fund donor. And for you, the source of the money, whether or not the government priorities are out of place, that does not concern you, at least yet. The question I want to ask also is, could YULA have invited a well-respected personality in our community or from any other place to do this launcher so that this money will not come from a questionable source? We all know when we are doing fundraiser, the one who you invite to be the chief launcher is the guy you expect to get the bigger money. YULA should not tell me they didn't do this for money. Come on, spare me that kind of explanation. We all know at every event or at an event intended for fundraising, when you invite somebody and classify the person as the chief launcher, you know that person has bigger pocket. And that person will give the highest amount. Could YULA have invited a well-respected personality to become or to have served as a chief launcher? Oh, yes, they are countless. But I can't count for YULA because I don't make decisions for them. I can only critique their decision making. In YULA's calculation, McGill was well placed to be the chief launcher because he was dishing out money and he didn't have money anyway. Did YULA do anything wrong legally or morally? Or I have to be fair with YULA as have been. YULA did not do anything legally wrong. So then why are you yelling here? YULA is yet to even speak on the whole money thing. YULA may well reject this money. YULA will well tell this government, hey, don't put us in the budget. We see a lot of issues. We in America, we have thousands of Liberians here. We can write grant. We can put a strategy into place. We can raise millions here. We don't need to lynch on a suffering, broke government of Liberia that can't even pay a bills. We appreciate the offer. We don't need it. Maybe YULA will do so. Maybe YULA will man up. Maybe YULA will do the right thing, morally speaking. But to answer the question, YULA has not done anything legally wrong. The invitation extended to Nathaniel McGill was calculated, was intentional. I disagree with the argument that they did it because they want to get President Weah's ear to achieve their major advocacy issues. When they made him chief launcher, they were thinking about money, and they knew he could give the money, and he delivered. YULA demonstrated its smartness, somebody would think. But morally speaking, YULA is wrong. Oh, yeah, YULA is wrong, and I'm going to give you the reasons. The YULA demonstration insensitivity. Yes, YULA did. YULA was so much insensitive to invite a minister of government. YULA cannot tell me they have forgotten that this very McGill, their new fund donor-in-chief, built a mausoleum for his mother. And in that mausoleum that McGill paid for is one of this electricity 24/7. Current in that place, it can't go off. This poor man, just a few years ago, is the one now YULA thing makes sense to invite. YULA cannot tell me they have forgotten that McGill will build a mausoleum for his mother. May her soul rest in perfect peace. He brought that noise. It was fenced. It's a whole house. Electrified. I know YULA argument is the man is working that his money. Really. YULA, really. So when I say YULA is so insensitive, I couldn't be so on point, and YULA could not be so off point. So, folks, did YULA know what it was up to and purposefully? Oh, yeah, YULA knew what it was up to. They wanted a guy to give money, and they did it. They looked in the Liberian community. They saw one guy dishing out money. It was Nathaniel McGill. My friend Leo will say that your color throwing hand, people can look at before they can go on your farm. YULA saw McGill color throwing hand when it comes to giving out or poke money, questionable money. So they went for it. These folks in YULA can tell me that they don't know that all these donations are not questionable. I want to engage the leader of YULA in a debate for that he does not know. And that he only wants President we has ears. He acting helpless. The bigger question now is, should YULA take or reject this questionable money? I would say yes, reject it. This money can be used for so many things right now as we speak. All right? And then I may ask also, are there other sources YULA can get similar amounts from? Yes, sources in America. YULA can even get millions by writing grants, by approaching states and federal government. YULA can get money from humanitarians, philanthropists, billionaires in this place. YULA can get millions from Liberians. YULA can design a project. Let me save that for my recommendation. But let me release that, Eric. YULA can design a project. And this is what we're going to do. This is the design. This is the cost. This is the total amount we need. And start soliciting at least $3 from each Liberian in this place. And use that project to source funding from humanitarian organizations, from donors, from philanthropists. YULA can get millions from rich people, working people, rich governments, rich individuals and organizations. YULA can do that, but they ran out of ideas. They are intellectually bankrupt of ideas. They are leeching on a poor, suffering Liberian government that cannot even pay its own bills, that cannot even provide electricity for its own people. The government of Liberia owes the West African power pool. It owes Ivory Coast for the current that the people of Liberia are using. Current goes off every day. YULA is aware of all these things. And yet we invite a McGill for the sole purpose of making him a chief launcher to subsequently dish out thousands to them. And they got it. YULA is insensitive. YULA could have done a much better job, could have gotten millions from somewhere else other than from a Nathaniel McGill. So, folks, you see the image I have there? That is Rabat International Airport. This terminal was recently built. The CDC government cannot keep the lights on at its own airport. One of the reasons is because of money. The whole country is in darkness for the most part. This is the airport that you can see. Let me make the picture bigger. I don't know if you can see it. There's a writing in there saying arrival. Number one, the whole thing is in darkness. Why? Because we have an irresponsible government that does not set its priority right and having challenges in funding and providing money for some sectors and other things in Liberia. And yet, it's spending millions. And YULA, that is in America, a place where you have so much goodwill, where they can raise millions of dollars. They didn't find anybody else other than to go to McGill. McGill, who and his government cannot keep the light on as Liberia's international airport. This thing, one plane had to even turn around because the place was dark the other time. If a plane crashes in Liberia because of this behavior from this irresponsible government, Liberia can get banned. And Liberians will not be able to travel home. Malians, the airport, how do we get to Liberia? So we're going to go to Sierra Leone and we'll start going to Ivory Coast and then take a bus or a car or go to Guinea? Seriously? And YULA is trying to take this money. I urge YULA to reject this money. So, folks, let me find something quickly here for you. YULA needs to do better. I know what they are up to. I get their argument. But their argument is just an excuse for what they want. And it's not going to sell. Bear with me here, folks. There are things I got to show you here. All right. So, folks, the building you are looking at here is the Monrovia Consolidated School Systems, one of its buildings. This is Todmore High, not to go through that long route, right? This is Todmore High. Take your time and look at the building for once. Is YULA not aware of this? Let me remind YULA, let me refresh your memory. At some point, President Weah went to Todmore High to visit. When he got there, the school was falling apart. There were no even chairs for students at Todmore High School right there in Single, few feet away from President Weah's office. President Weah went with the Minister of Education at that time. And the video of that went viral. Todmore High, as we speak, lies in ruin. Liberia's government, headed by this McGill and Weah, cannot renovate Todmore High. Look at this building, how shameful and disgraceful it is. And even talking about that, folks, I have a video concerning Todmore High. I will play it briefly. Here it is.
Well, this is the historical William-Vias Todmore High School, and this school is regarded as the government's #1 high school in the Republic. But as we speak, the William-Vias Todmore High School is wiping away if the government will not take action. In a moment from now, this school will become a threat to students. So this morning, we are here to bring a highlight of the school, calling on the government to take action to make sure that this school is brought up to standard, because completely this government high school is wiping away. Well, this is one of the classrooms here of the William-Vias Todmore High School, and we spoke to some of the folks here. They complain of this and also said the government needs to come in to make sure that this institution is renovated and up to standard to meet the need of the students. And this is the government's most talked about high school, the William-Vias Todmore High School, established in the 60s. This is how Todmore High is.
So folks, you saw it right there. Let me bring it back for you. That's Todmore High. McGill is aware of this. YULA is aware of this. And they invited McGill to give them money. Yes, they did. They invited him purposely to give them money. It's not only to get President Weah's ear, but it's also to give money, and he gave them money. Are they going to take the money? Look at Todd Mahal. So ULA cannot get 100,000 from somewhere, other than from a responsible government. So when I told you about each sensitivity, this is one of this. This is one of it. So folks, giving you further evidence here, the Monrovia Consolidated School System, MCSS, is raising funds. It has a GoFundMe. They want to raise $50,000. As we speak, the Monrovia Consolidated School System GoFundMe, created by the superintendent of that school, of that system, and that is a government school system based in Monserrate County, specifically in Monrovia, is raising $50,000 because the government of Liberia is not providing sufficient funding for the Monrovia Consolidated School System. So the school system principal thought it wise to raise $50,000 to carry on a lot of projects at the school, to give the school facelift, to give it its status and a facelift befitting of a school. All right? And so far, how much has the Monrovia Consolidated School generated through a GoFundMe that is ongoing now? $40 only. Let ULA take this money and give it to the Monrovia Consolidated School System, maybe. So this is a government that cannot fund its own system right there. And we show you one of the buildings, and you saw it. I'm going to show you more here. This is Sastan High School in Grand Crew County. I hope the ULA folks are listening. This is Sastan High School in Grand Crew County. This is President Weah's own town. Look at the building. It has not been renovated for almost 5 years now. President Weah has been in power. So McGill would rather give ULA 100,000. McGill would rather put 300,000 in a budget for ULA. ULA that has the ability to be able to raise hundreds or even millions of dollars in the United States. Sastan High. President Weah claim hometown of Sastan, where I'm from also. This building has been lying in ruin for all these years since President Weah came to power. ULA, are you paying attention? Also, the University of Liberia, right there by McGill's office, is in ruin. Right there. Look at the building. This is the University of Liberia. Can the government make more money available for the renovation here? And will come and give money to ULA that can raise millions here from the United States and even from Liberians alone? They are going to take money from a poor government that is irresponsible? ULA cannot be serious. ULA cannot be serious. I will conclude to say ULA need to reject this money, and ULA was morally wrong. ULA was insensitive, that this government is corrupt, that this government is not setting a priorities right. Government is not able to provide stable electricity for its people. One of the core reasons is because the government cannot source out the funding. But because the government wants to remain in power, the government is giving out money that will make people to favor it and vote for it. that will make people not to criticize it. So if YULA takes this money, it's like you're taking a piece of bone and put it in your mouth. When you have bone in your mouth, you can't blow whistle. There's a saying that you cannot fight the hand that bites you. But if YULA takes this money, does it mean that YULA will be compromised? Will it mean that YULA will not be able to hold the government accountable? Is this the first time government is giving money to any Liberian organization in the first place? The Federation of Liberian Youth, FLA, is being given money by the Liberian government. I know usually it's in the budget. So putting YULA in the budget will not be the only thing. But let me tell you the history of FLA. FLA now is in the government pocket because the government funds it. The Federation of Liberian Youth is now a toothless, useless bulldog. It does not utter any criticism. In fact, the government of Liberia decides its leadership. That's what money does. He who feeds you controls you. You cannot fight the hand that feeds you. When you have a bone in your mouth, you cannot blow whistle. So the bone that this government is putting in YULA's mouth, when YULA takes it and keeps it in its mouth, it will not be able to blow whistle. Now, PUL is the press union of Liberia. PUL was given 100,000 by Ellen Johnson's salary to build the PUL modern headquarters. That headquarters has not been built as we speak. That money was given in 2008. That is another show for another day. Has PUL been compromised because Ellen has given them money? Was PUS forceful in reporting, in holding the government accountable? Were all journalists in Liberia compromised at the time? Since they all have been on or are on the press union of Liberia. It depends on who you talk to. Now, McGill continued to extend even his budgetary allotments for consequential institutions that he wants to be in their corner. This CDC government is also giving PUL $300,000 in the budget to build a headquarters. The CDC cares less. The 100,000 that was given to PUL, whether they build a headquarters or not, but it's giving 300,000 to build a headquarters. That is how irresponsible this government is. That is why it makes no sense to take money from a government that is not taking care of its responsibilities. YULA can raise millions here in the US. Educational institutions like MCSS having GoFundMe, they only have $40 as we speak. McGill government is not funding the MCSS. In fact, in the MCSS budget of 2022, the last time I checked, they had 2,000 there for internet, for the provision of internet in the entire MCSS system. This is how heartless this government is. This is how wicked the government is. This is how this government does not prioritize its priorities. And yet, YULA, knowing that the chief architect of all these things that McGill would choose McGill to be their chief launcher, to give them money that should be used to fund MCSS, that should be used to provide stable electricity for our people, that should be used to provide water for our people. Yes, YULA is insensitive. YULA was calculated. YULA is up to something here. They all want favor from the government. Maybe when the government wins, some of its members will get appointments, right? That is one criticism against YULA. Why can't you raise claim money here? Why can't you raise claim money? This is a government that already is struggling. We want one protest after the other for salary payment. And that's the one you can take money from when you have so much goodwill here where you can raise millions. I urge YULA to reject that money and not even get in the budget, because they can raise more money here and not from a post-suffering government. Now, if YULA argument is that, or will be that, look, we'll take the money that is in the budget, but then how YULA is different from the lawmakers who said, well, the $5,000 was budgeted. Well, the money on accessibility and legislative engagement, that money is budgeted. Then how different is YULA from these heartless lawmakers who are taking several thousand for their pockets that should be allotted for development in the counties that they represent? How different will YULA be? Should YULA agree to be placed into this budget? If YULA were in Liberia and not in an advantageous position, not in a place where it can raise millions, I will certainly understand. The question is, but YULA government too now. What is wrong with, but the thing is, YULA is an illegal institution in Liberia. It's not registered in Liberia. In America, even if you are an organization that is predominantly Liberian or foreign, but you must be registered in Liberia to receive donation. To receive a grant, you must be registered. YULA is not registered in Liberia, but YULA is taking donation and is claiming that when it receives the money, it will spend the money in Liberia. So an organization that is not registered yet, to be assigned or allotted a budgetary line, you must be a registered institution. All the ministries were created by an act of national legislature. So legally, and NGOs, community-based organizations, if the government is giving money to media institutions, something I don't know except for PUL, this institution must be registered. Is YULA registered as an entity in Liberia to be giving money from our budget? No, YULA is not registered. YULA must have addressed that. That is the reason they should not take that money, because they are not registered yet. Hey, YULA can get registered tomorrow, right? Nathaniel McGill can make call here and there. That is how they get the ears of the president, right? They can call McGill, hey, my man, we're not registered. 5G registration will go on quick so that they can get the money. That will show a desperation for that money. You can raise millions here. Folks, YULA need to speak. And I'm calling on them to speak and address this. Since the 26th, today is the 31st. Almost 5 days now. YULA is quiet. YULA is hearing all these cries and these complaints, this condemnation. They are not moved. When is Comrade Sieh waiting for? How long is it going to take him to call an emergency meeting? Let me tell you something. In popular relations, when the image of an institution is brought to question, you see the folks in the popular relation sector will come to issue a statement. They don't wait until that which is negative news against the institution to persist for some time. What kind of effective leader? So what, you waiting for extraordinary section? What? For all the YULA chapters to come? Your image is on the line. people are talking, called an emergency meeting for Christ's sake to issue a statement and decide what you want to do. This thing is simple. Why you invited Mange? But guess what? We heard and we know this is truth and truth on it, that the president of YULA is going on spoon anytime soon, probably Friday or so. That's the only media institution it can go to. And that media institution, based on my own investigation, is on, now I don't know that one, it's being controlled. That's the right word, by McGill. Nathaniel McGill referred to Stanton Witherspoon as his best friend. Spoon was the only media institution that was recognized by YULA and its leadership at its inaugural, even though there were other media institutions there. In fact, the media institution that covers the entire program was not called by name or recognized by YULA. They said Spoon and all other media institutions. What an insult and disrespect to other media institutions that were there. Spoon that did not cover the program was recognized. And Spoon make a pledge to contribute some money. YULA is intentional and calculative. They know the relationship that Mange has. So when YULA told you in its argument that we want to have President Weah's ear, they said the truth. They got President Weah's ear now. A platform that is controlled, a platform that is in the government's interest, that promotes the government's agenda, is where Sieh is going to put out his justification and explanations. Fairly well. The Sieh Kamara administration has started on the dangerous path. Your inaugural, your inauguration, the very day noise. This is when an institution should be having a honeymoon. But he exhibited poor and terrible judgment by inviting a questionable government officials who is dishing out questionable money and made him a launcher to get so much money. And instead of him being on a honeymoon now, to start on a good footing and on a better relationship with Liberian who distrust the YULA area, and now he have to go and clean it up. Not a single minute of honeymoon for him. How could he have done this thing to himself? I don't know him well, but people who know him say he's a smart guy. That does not look like smartness to me. No, this is insensitivity. This is poor judgment. This is bad calculation. You don't even have a honeymoon right now, my friend, because of a decision you made. That money should be rejected, and YULA should tell the government we don't want you in our budget. Then I will believe their argument that they only want the president's ear. Mange is your friend now. He attended your program. He spoke. You got his phone number. He's on speed dial now. So it is not about money. It's about what? Getting the president's ear, right? So forget about the money. I will leave it there. And I will conclude. I hope I was fair. I raised YULA's argument succinctly, accurately, and forcefully. I raised my questions against YULA. I provided succinct, good answers. YULA may have a disagreement here based on their argument. And that is a beautiful thing. And so I'm going to take a break and I will open the phone lines. I will take a break and I will open the phone lines. So folks, bear with me. Let me try to go for that break. And after that break, I will open the phone lines for those who want to call. I will appreciate if somebody from YULA will come and make the case. I always tell people I'm not always right. I will not always be right. But one thing I can promise, I will always be on point. And I believe I was on point today. So let's take this break. And then after that break, we take in the calls. All right, folks, thanks for staying with us yet. We got the phone line all set up. And the number to call is 605-313-6004. Enter the call 791-403 to join the conversation. Folks in ULAA, we will appreciate for you to call and give your take on the presentation. Register your disagreement. And that is what we do here at Focus on Liberia. And the time now is here for you to speak. And any other Liberian also is more than welcome to participate in the discussion. So, folks, the phone line is right there. There you have it. And that number is also in the strolling text below. 605-313-6004. Enter the call 791-403 to join the conversation. We will be more than glad if you call to participate. I see that we have a caller already. That is Chairman Toto. Chairman Toto, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the discussion tonight. Today, first, let me put a disclaimer. I am not a spokesperson for you. I am not a spokesperson for YULA.
Okay.
You are part of the administration. I'm going to call you the point as a former chairman. You go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So actually, some of the points that you made, right? Not at the spotlight for the one that would for the administration. So many like they have been put on YULA. And look at the scope of operation of YULA. So in the 70s up to the 80s, YULA had been accused of the military. But people are complaining, ULAA is a springboard to going Liberia to grab government job. All the decades
Right.
are there put on this one ULAA.
Mm-hmm.
ULAA has decided to change their scope of operation. Instead of advocacy, they decided to change their scope of operation to be like a most-selling organization. That's why you see ULAA started to the provide to other states of projects in Nigeria. When Cody was president, he went to more like a service organization. The other took a project or the farmer would consider they were school.
Right.
They were honored for school. And you saw other chapters started to the nation of Nigeria after the COVID. That of supply, he was basically was president. That activity, the nation he was in Nigeria. So ULAA has started to change that scope of operation. So if you see ULAA, he gives you maybe the government in the level, and I believe they have is why the administration local to be that way. But even Labour Party government where Eric Johnson said he was president when he election, Eric Johnson said he said ULAA way to go to Nigeria as a special guest. And that's what in the media, people did not been lost on it. As I'm speaking, it depends on the government, or I just try to force, I just try to name for everything.
Yeah.
You know, and then the diaspora fund that might be or presided what was launched on Razor for it. That diaspora fund started when we were in leadership. There was a plea that was made to all Nigerian diaspora to at least donate $1 or $25. People put against it, oh, ULAA that corrupt people want to invest in money in case that people that stuff, but initiated. You know, and the way ULAA is structured actually is difficult for ULAA to raise money or get money. People look at even to ULAA, there's a far worse these other organizations.
So Mr. Toto, because of time, right? Mr. Toto, because of time, if ULAA has not been able to raise millions, who fault is it? It said that Liberians are not willing to contribute, or is it ULAA's fault? I mean, who do you hold responsible for ULAA's inability to raise millions when it is headquartered in this whatever country on earth?
I don't want to share the responsibility or on a particular group of ULAA or Nigerian people. This is our Nigerian community, this is our Nigerian organization. We came about 40 years to responsibility of every Nigerian. We are also political either and we don't pay attention to this diverse organization. We are more committed to county organization or some of the sport district organization. People vote everything for this organization they are compared to the national diverse organization that bring everybody together. That's what the fact that we have.
And let me say this, right, Chairman Toto. In Canada, the Liberian Association of Canada, headed by Leo Johnson. Leo has been able to raise several $100,000. He has a project, the Liberian Learning Center, that he's building in Liberia. Everybody sees it, right? So how is Leo is able to raise several $100,000 and now going to poor Liberian government that can't pay its bills, and you that lives in the or headquartered in the whatever country on earth, I mean, cannot do it. So let's say Liberians are not willing to pay, all right, and which is partly true. Many Liberians don't want to pay. Maybe they are not saying, defined projects, right? And maybe you have not come up with the best strategy and not come up with a strategic, project, convincing project that Liberian can trust. So I would think that the problem is more on ULAA's leadership than the people. Yeah, can you raise your voice a little bit?
Yeah, I'm saying that Leo is really good on that side of the world. But when it comes to Liberia, on this side of the world, not just in America, where we have the largest population of Liberia, but various diverse groups exist. So, actually, it is difficult when we were in leadership to reach out, simple proposal, simple project to bring, for people to agree on some of the things that it's difficult. It's difficult. I don't know that is.
And Chairman Toto, I would not disagree with you that it is not difficult. Leadership is difficult, but leaders are there to do difficult things. That's why we have leaders. Leaders are the ones to do the difficult things. If the leaders can do the difficult things, then that means they have failed.
So I don't want to put that to field leadership. But I think I'm leaving that out. I just want to make this clarity.
Yeah, please conclude. I have other callers, please. Yeah, please be brave. I have other callers waiting. Please conclude. All right, thank you. Thank you. That was Toto there, George Toto. Mr. Sieh Goya is focused on Liberia educational contributor and analyst. Mr. Goya is also a member of YULA. Let's hear from you, my friend.
Mr. Goya is also a member of YULA. Let's hear from you, my friend.
Hey, Anthony, how are you doing, sir?
Mr. Goya is also a
Anthony, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, all right, sorry about that. So full disclosure, besides being an analyst on Focus on Liberia, I also served at one point as the one of the political spokespersons for the Sieh campaign team.
Exactly.
But I'm not calling in that capacity just because I want your viewers to kind of understand that we are focused on Liberia. We don't keep our positions hidden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really calling as the MC because I serve as the MC at the program.
Good.
And the analysis I can speak to, you are as usual fair and balanced, and I will hope that the people who are elected in YULA, like Chairman Toto said, can come up fast and be able to speak to a lot of the issues that you were raising. And it's not just you that's raising these issues. There are a lot of Liberians that are raising this issue, and I think this is not one of those things that we just hope that we can sit on the sidelines and watch it fade away. Having said that, I was just calling to make clarification. You had stated that YULA did not recognize the other media houses in the room. Except for Sieh. And I want to say here clearly that I, as the MC, on numerous times actually call out the name of the LRCN that I was carrying the program live. I even also recognized Dennis Guy as a host on Focus on Liberia. And as a matter of fact, during the program, Mr. Jai also brought that same the issue you just raised to my attention that why is it that Spoon FM is being recognized when in fact the media group that is live casting the event was not being recognized. I went back again during the program and also recognized, and I told Mr. Jada they have been recognized, but I will go back and do that. So I just want to make that clarification that yes, indeed, I guess when elected officials of YULA spoke, they might have said Spoon TV and others, but I wanted to put it out there that I, as the MC, made it a point to over and over recognize the group that simulcasted the program.
Thank you. I appreciate that clarification. On the phone also is Mr. Leo Nompolo Johnson. Leo is a partner here at Focus on Liberia. He is the host of the program, The Liberian Dream. Full disclosure there, Leo is also the president of the Liberian Organization or Liberian Association in Canada. Mr. Johnson, Mr. President with small P, I don't want to get you in trouble. Welcome.
Thank you, Anthony, for having me. And yes, I take my small piece. It's interesting when I hear the conversation. I just wanted to set a few things straight. And full disclosure, we've worked with YULA in the past. They've supported our efforts here in Canada as well with the work we're doing. I just wanted to say a few things. And I heard my senior brother there, Chairman Soto on the phone trying to provide some clarity for people to understand, which is great. But there are a few things I think we need to focus on here. Number one is that I'm one person who disagrees that Liberians don't support things that we're doing in Liberia or things regarding our Liberian community. I think I say so because we don't usually present tangible efforts that are transparent of all of the right things in place for Liberians to support. I'm saying so because I know one of the challenges with our community has been the ability to be accountable, the ability to present things properly. For example, I asked, and this is not a criticism of ULA alone, across the diaspora, what is ULA annual budget? We haven't seen it. What is ULA annual year plan? Right? We haven't seen it. So it's not just enough to come and ask people for money. To ask people for money, we need to ensure that we put the things in place that can make people trust. Now, and there's a long history of Liberians donating to things in their own community, and nobody accounts for it. So you don't expect Liberians to just keep giving. I think as Liberian community organizations, we need to step up to show our community that we are operating just as the YMCA will operate, that we are operating just as all the other STEM organizations, the World Visions and the World, they can see our financial reports. It's even possible audit them. They can see our annual year plan. They can see our budget because then they can clear us, sort us accountable by the things that we put forth. When it comes to the donation by Honorable McGill, I think ULA will suffer more than the gain from this. Now, let's move away from the fact that whether it's right or wrong. I'm not going to get into that because that is relative and contextual. But I think what we need to focus on is look at what has happened. Is an organization like ULA willing to accept all of the distractions and decisions that this will cost just to show that it is just desperate for money? I think ULA is well situated to raise hundreds of thousands, if not even millions of dollars. What ULA is lacking is the expertise that is required to actually do that. So I think if Honorable McGill wants to donate to ULA as an individual, that is amazing. He should do that. But you put ULA in a conflict of interest situation, first of all, to have the Liberian government unilaterally select ULA to give taxpayers dollars who are living in Liberia to ULA in America, whose most members are taxpayers to the American government. Why are you not making that available to other organizations in Liberia? Why isn't there a transparent way to say the government has a pot of $300,000 to give to Liberian organizations? Everybody apply. And the most competitive project or application will win the day so that there is a fair. What was the criteria put in place for taxpayers' dollars to be committed to an organization like ULA where most of the people who pay those taxes are in Liberia? I think these are the type of questions we like to ask. And the final thing I'd like to ask, I always hear people from ULA say they represent, they have 1 million Liberians all over the diaspora. If that is true, then I will encourage ULA to start opening their governing process to allow people from Canada to run for the presidency of ULA, people from Europe to run for it. It is true that this organization is for all of us. Then I think the processes should be fair, that we all can compete to ensure that ULA is the way it is. But you can't say you represent us when we have no direct input into how ULA functions and how ULA is run. I think ULA is a great organization, and ULA is putting its reputation at risk by allowing itself to be compromised in this manner. For me, it's not about right or wrong.
And
saying, when you compromise yourself, where are you going?
And Leo, before I let you go to bring eminent Kessler in, the issue of the budget, that because the whole thing became a political event, and that thing was more of a political statement. Hey, we will put ULA in the budget as of next budget year. Is that how public officials go about, making decisions for budgetary allocations to institutions? Go to an event and just announce it? How was that not a political move by McGill? And you like going to take this bill? Let me just get your take quickly so I can bring his eminent Kessler in. Kessler.
I don't blame McGill. McGill is a politician. Politicians do what they do. That's their game. McGill plays his game and does what he does. I blame ULA. ULA, as a reputable organization, is supposed to inform Honorable McGill, the Honorable Minister, we thank you for the gesture. But as ULA, given our processes and procedures, we don't function like this. And we thank you for this. What we can do, Honorable McGill, we will select a project in Liberia. Maybe we'll select the renovation of Tottenham High as a project in Liberia so that we can ensure that Liberian taxpayers' dollars are going to benefit the population in Liberia. Because in America, we are better off. We can afford it. We have many other options to raise money. Because at the end of the day, Honorable McGill is a politician. Ansony Sieh, They do what politicians do. ULA being a 501c3 organization in the US that is supposed to rise above the bar had a perfect opportunity here to help Honorable McGill direct some of his political gestures to where it should really be directed, and not the ULA in the United States.
Thank you. That was the voice of Leo Johnson, president of the Liberian Association of Canada. Leo has been raising several thousands of dollars and carrying on a defined clear-cut project in Liberia. He's raising thousands that ULA cannot raise and rush into almighty poor Liberian government. Eminent Kesely, former president of ULA, he became president of ULA at the time ULA was in its good old days, if I can pull it that way. It's Eminent, my good friend and big brother, welcome. Eminent Kesely, your time to speak. It's your time, sir.
Oh, you mean?
Oh, Kesely double. I was mistaking you for Anthony Kesely. Sorry.
I don't want to get into trouble.
I know, right? I know, right? So let me make an introduction. Hold on. Let me make an introduction. Folks, I apologize. That is not my big brother, His Eminent Kesely, Anthony Kesely. That is Kesely Double. Mr. Double is a member of now opposition Liberty Party that walked out of the CPP. How you doing, my good friend?
Yeah, thank you very much for the correction. I'm a member of the Unity Party and I've been since 2005.
All right.
Onto the topic. Tony, I want to say thank you for your analysis. You know your analysis was on point. Why it stood out as usual, I mean, there are sometimes the analysis do hurt our ears, especially when you are hating on us. But I think the analysis are always, to the target. And it is always good that we as Liberians can take some of these things in good faith, even when it is against you, take it in good faith and make the correction when necessary. And thanks to Leo Johnson too for icing the cake. If you look at you know what most funny about the program was that, Anthony, you believe that when you go to a program of trust and you make a donation, you expect people to clap for you and be happy.
Right.
But I want you to go back to that video, right? You will notice that when Minister Mike made a donation, the hall was quiet. But then when former Minister Bounce came on the floor and the bomb Minister McGill and put him into correction, the entire house went wide. Go back to the video and look at it. That tells you that the donation was not even accepted by people who you were making a donation to. Apparently, you were not getting the logic.
Wow.
And then when former Minister Bounce made the remark, there were people under him who were saying yes. Women, I could hear them in the video saying yes. Thank you very much. In fact, I think Mr. McGill was trying to react to something, and there was a lady who was under him say, "Oh, come on, just keep quiet, Mr. McGill, and let Mr. Bounce talk."
Wow.
That tells you that people did not welcome the goodwill from Mr. McGill, the so-called goodwill from Mr. McGill. You gotta know it's not a goodwill in any sense. And on the part of ULA, man, ULA of all organizations, how can you allow yourself to be used in this manner? You know, you have been criticized on so many occasions by other people. Say that government took over, ULA have been criticized on so many occasions. Especially when it came to the dual citizenship issue, ULA was criticized by us so many times. I mean, we thought ULA would have come out to make some correction, but there is what it is. Just make another big blunder. And like you said earlier, I hope they can come on now and say, hey, if you still so thing, we cannot accept the money. That's one. And two, the money is even going to be the budget. How sure are you that money is even going to be approved by the Senate? I mean, if you take all of this into consideration, the money is going through the budget.
Thank you.
There is not something that McGill is saying that I'm going to give you the money personally. It's going through the budget. And you have blunder, and I hope you can make the correction now.
But the thing is, Kesely, McGill then control the legislature. If they want that thing to pass, they can give the legislature whatever they want to get that budget passed, right? But the point I made earlier was that if and only if that passes, and what would be ULA's justification, but it's in the budget, so it's legal, then how is ULA different from these lawmakers taking $30,000 for legislative engagement and slash accessibility. How are they different, right? And they are in America. Yeah, they should be the example.
Yes, we should be the one richly attending other people, and not the other way around.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, folks, that would do it for phone calls. I will read some comments. I see a lot of comments right there on point. Let me get to those comments and let me recognize folks who have contributed here with comments that are succinct. I need to stop using this succinct word and learn another word. This is from Kato Jion. You are right, Mr. Kato. However, Mr. McGill felt challenged by Ambassador Barnes. Oh, yeah, you met Kesali Nakada. Let's hear from Leo Napolo Johnson here, talking to Wawu. Is the Minister of State position a political position? Of course it is. Let's hear from Darling. McGill is not a politician. McGill is a clueless man with access to our money. Well, McGill is a politician. He occupies a political position. He was head of a political party. I know what you mean, but the meaning of that word politician, it fits McGill. Thanks, Leo. You are on point, but the politician McGill is not for fun or corrupt like no one business. That is Swa Mampu. Let's get this one from Carter again. It is not difficult to raise money. The problem is ULA has nothing to show for anyone to believe in them or trust them. It's that simple. What's ULA track record in accomplishing anything? Right? Darling here going after show. Show now that you have Georgia and McGill here. Resign and ask your new bodies to give you a job in their regime. So like you have Dennis Cotier. I see the reason behind this wonderful dual citizenship struggle by ULA over the years, when in fact there have been numerous of urgent issues, problems faced by the Liberian people to be prioritized and addressed, such as the outrageous culture of rampant corruption, misuses of public offices, and gross human rights abuses, but instead. Lots of comments here. I'm going to read as many as I can get to. Like yeah, from Dennis here, after Dennis, ULA seems to be like a criminal organization that commit crimes and walk free. With it, Liberians need to wake up. Wow, this person, I thought I was just tough, but this person is even tough and a little more point here. Helena here writes, charity begins at home. The government needs to build good hospitals and good schools and good hospitals, and also put money in the hospital that do not have running water or beds and proper equipment. She writes. But yeah, from Dempster, right? This is complete pay to play in broad daylight. Liberians need to wake up. That is what I see, and it was in broad daylight, and ULA knows better. What is ULA, by the way? Live in America over 15 years and never see their impact, both here and in the diaspora and in Liberia. Questions are being asked here. Show Liberians are speaking. Do not consider them as detractors. Richard Hammer, they cannot fix those old schools because they are doing their own thing. They are building their own schools and their mansions with Liberian people money. That is true. We see a man at Prince Johnson and all building schools. Then the government of Liberia can renovate schools. The government of Liberia entity is carrying on GoFundMe. And then ULA is poised to take this money. I want to see ULA take this money. They will have no credibility. I mean, people don't ever trust you. And the decision made to even pick a McGill, it was like you just crucify yourself on day one. I so agree with you, Ansony. The Liberian government can't afford to pay for electricity for the airport, but they are able to give money to ULA for free. This government priorities is always wrong. I am always on point, I told you people. I'm not always right, but I'm always on point. the best platform and best show ever, FOL. Thanks, Mr. Ansony Sieh and the rest of the crew at FOL. We appreciate recognizing our effort, but I love criticism more than praises. Swab Mapu, yes, they won't be different from the government. Take the money for what purpose? YULA should not take this money. The comments are biting. Show me one country that is developed in Liberia. Maybe one country that is developed in Liberia. Monrovia, the capital, is a dump site. They can't even clean the city. The city mayor is saying, oh, we don't have money, no donor money. That's why we can't clean the city. And then the Minister of Presidential Affairs comes to America after he heard the U.S. ambassador writing an op-ed about Monrovia being filthy. And then the Minister of Presidential Affairs comes to America and gives $100,000 to a Liberian organization in the United States. How is that not sheer insensitivity? How? How can Sieh wait for 5-6 days to speak about something that's simple? Jesus help us. Anyway, I meant to say the ancestors, because even Comrade Jesus can take this one. The president broke his house down and rebuilt it. Never heard anything like that before. So why don't he break this historic school and rebuild it? Yeah, I show you schools. And this is my lawyer friend Tavina call exactly that. Tavina, you know I'm always on point. You know I'm always on point. The president of YULA graduated from the MCSS. Really? Sieh, you graduated from MCSS school system? I graduated from Detroit High. Now we got a GoFundMe out there by Professor Zalo. Can you contribute something to it? Or you want to take the 100,000 first? I'm not going to be merciful today. Now you have from Kringa, I just read that. We will demolish Tottenham High School and replace it with a market structure and call it Tottenham Memorial 14 Market. Somebody is trying to be comical there. Well, folks, I can't get to all the comments. You contributed, all of you, so beautifully, so intelligently, and also my favorite word, so succinctly. And I can't thank you enough for always following us here. I focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. I'm running out of gas a little bit, and I got my cartoon waiting for me. I don't look up to McGill to give me $100,000 to survive. He would never and ever make any attempt, for he knows who I am. McGill knows who he's dealing with. McGill cannot come and make a donation to focus on Liberia in that amount. We would never even invite him in the first place to do a fundraiser. We can invite him for an interview to come and answer the questions Liberians have. That we can invite him for. They know the individuals they are giving this kind of money to. They know these people, they don't have eyes to see that this kind of money is questionable. My friend Dennis just said, when you have a piece of cassava in your mouth, you cannot blow whistle. YULA is yet to speak 5 days today because that piece of cassava is in its mouth. The hair can't blow a whistle. I will have to conclude here, folks. As always, here at Focus on Liberia, we educate, we elevate, and we promote all things Liberia. I brought you a presentation on the topic, the 100,000 donation, the 300,000 budget for YULA, and the politics of it all. I'm sure I was able to provide the political explanation behind this money. I'm sure I was also able to show you the political blunder and calculation YULA did make. YULA is looking ugly right now because of a decision that it made that was not smart. You took over an institution that is not trusted by the Liberian community, that is not respected by most Liberians. because of a continuous failure of effective and efficient leadership by its successor leaders. And in your own inaugural, the only thing you could do was to invite a political ATM in person of Nathaniel McGill to be your chief launcher. You did it purposely because you have seen him dividing money in Moravia, in the other counties, as I have shown the records here. In case you don't know, now you know where you take the 100,000. You should be having your honeymoon. I remember when I was on my honeymoon, there was no stress. It was beautiful. But Sieh doesn't get one because Sieh made a simple decision that was problematic. He invited a guy to be the one to be the chief launcher for the fundraising aspect, and explaining that he did so to get the ears of President Weah. If I want to get President Weah's ear, do I have to go down on my knees intelligently? I don't have to do that. I don't need his ears to survive. My institution does not need his ears to survive. I am a Liberian, and I run a Liberian organization. I don't need a president to survive. I want to show who knows that. Well, there are some people that believe without government, nothing can be done. That is a lie from the pit of hell. Leo Johnson is in Liberia. He runs a Liberian organization, and he has raised several thousand, and he's carrying on the project. He didn't have President Weah's ears. Of course, he has to work with the local authority on the ground. That's all he needs. He doesn't need any president's ears. So spare me with this narrative that you need the president's ear to achieve your advocacy objectives. We know why you're up to here. Finally, you got it. You demonstrated your smartness, but in getting what you wanted, the purpose for you invited Mange, you got it, but then you destroy yourself by putting your administration in the mouths of Liberians who already distrust the institution you took over. You should have had a fresh start and doing business with an insensitive government that can't pay bills, that can't provide electricity, all because it does not have the money. And it's taking you more than 5 days, and now you are planning to go on the government favorite platform to explain what? Tell us you're taking the money or you are rejecting the money. The Sieh administration was in the know. They knew this money was coming. They had conversation about this money. It has given its blessing for McGill to announce. They knew it. It was not shocking to them. Oh, really? I show you schools lying in complete ruin in Liberia, in the president's own town, right there by McGill's office, University of Liberia, right there by McGill's office, Taj Mahal. Nothing has been done. 4 years now. The airport is in darkness. Planes can't even learn. There's some are turning back. The president returns and the place is in darkness. The U.S. ambassador said Moravia is filthy. The European Union ambassador said Moravia is the dirtiest city on earth. Your city mayor came and said, well, the reason it's happening is because there's no donor money. Otherwise, we don't have money. Oh, this is money problem. And then McGill comes to America and uses ULAA as a conduit and play you intelligently. And you don't have eyes to see. and he's donating 100,000 in the United States. When the United States ambassador accredited to Liberia is writing an op-ed about a major saying no money so we can clean the city. YULA that can raise millions here is taking 100,000 or is poised to take 100,000, will not speak on the after 5 days, is mute. Then it is right. When you have a piece of cassava in your mouth, you can blow whistle. Then it is also right with that parable. Oh, this is a popular one, by the way, that when you are being fed by a hen, you can fight that hen. Why will you say to your boss anyway, when your boss has already given you what you ever wanted? All you do is to sing praises. If you can't sing, you go mute. Such is the case. Will this decision be a failure upon arrival for Comrade Sieh administration? I would say yes, and I would say no. Yes, because he will have to work the hardest than he has ever worked in his lifetime to restore the trust that he butchered on the day of his inauguration. Oh, I said that he butchered that trust by inviting this man. I don't know how he's going to do it. You, Comrade Sieh, and your team will earn my respect when you come out of this and win the trust of the Liberian people. Be a Leo. Come up with a plan, a project, identify, reach out to Liberians, show them the plan, let them see what you're doing, ask them for money. I will leave it there, and I will leave it there. But I will leave by saying congratulations to Comrade Sieh on his inauguration as the president of YULA. We wish you well, comrade. We hope you will rise up from this dust that you spill upon yourself and come out as a leader. But this dust is so thick. I don't know how you're going to do it. In absence of trust, leadership is doomed. The people must trust you. They must believe in you. If you make them to turn their backs, you screw. You will be like the Neke Empire. This is most likely the case. I'm sorry for telling you the truth, but my words, Tassila said, are not the Bible. I'm a traditional guy. I believe in the ancestors and the teachings that they left with us. I stay Iman Pambata. But I come to learn this thing and follow. I don't learn it. Shooting bows here, called leadership. Then it say it's like a life and death situation. If you play with it, it will kill you politically. Maybe it will kill your administration. This might be one of those cases. But I know one thing. Men are endowed with wisdom. And when a leader is inspirational and rises to the occasion, they can get to the promised land. Will YULA survive? We should. Will YULA change the narrative? We should. We should be the men of the people. Comrade Sieh, that is your task. I'm sorry you make it very difficult at the age. Maybe you are setting up yourself for success, but it smells like you are setting up yourself, or you have already set up yourself for failure. Failure, I do not pray for you. Success, I pray for. And that was the point and essence and the reason for this analysis. And folks, bye-bye now. And I said to you, what's YULA up to? Sieh will answer that question when he appears on the media. And Sieh, I'm calling you. Come here. I want an interview from you. I'm not going to run behind you. You can come for it or you don't come. The sun says we are all Liberians, and that sun is taking us home. And so, folks, until I catch you, when I catch you again, and when I do, my name is Ansony Sieh saying to you, enjoy the sun. We are all Liberians. Even Sieh is. He is a very good one too. Bye-bye.
We are Liberians.